Hi there, this is Jonathan Ginsberg. I'm an Atlanta area personal bankruptcy attorney, and today I'd like to answer the question, can you file Chapter 13 bankruptcy if you have an extra vehicle? What I mean by this would be if you're filing by yourself and you include two vehicles in your Chapter 13, or if you are married and you and your spouse both have a vehicle and you have three vehicles in your Chapter 13. Maybe it's because of a child, either a minor child, 17 years old, or it could be an adult child, or it could be for a parent or for a friend. What does that mean in terms of your bankruptcy? Well, first of all, you can include anything you want into a Chapter 13, but what the meaning of it's going to be is if you have a vehicle that is not, quote, necessary for you or your spouse's or your dependents' financial rehabilitation, the trustee is going to object to it. So if you have three vehicles and you've got yourself, your spouse, and a 17-year-old child who uses the vehicle to go to school, probably not going to generate a lot of problems with the trustee. But if you have two vehicles for yourself, or you have a vehicle for yourself and you're financing a vehicle for an adult child, that's where we run into trouble, because the trustee is going to say, this is not necessary for you. You don't need two vehicles. People say to me, well, I need this other vehicle. What if my first one breaks down? That's not a good enough reason. Or if you're financing a vehicle for a third party, for an adult child or for a friend, the trustee is going to say, look, that person needs to address his or her own transportation problems. That's not something you can deal with. And this is especially true if you're paying less than 100% to your unsecured creditors in your Chapter 13. If you're paying 100%, probably not going to be a big issue, but if you're paying less than 100%, the trustee's position is if you're paying MasterCard and Visa 5 cents on the dollar, but you're funding a $25,000 vehicle for your next door neighbor, that's not going to fly. We're not going to let you help your neighbor buy a car at the expense of your unsecured creditors. So it's going to depend on the circumstance to some degree, but again, common sense is going to be what's going to happen here is if you're financing a vehicle and it's not for the need of you, your spouse, or a dependent, someone who shows up on your tax return as a dependent, you're going to get a trustee objection. And the only way to deal with that would be either to surrender the car and let your adult child or your neighbor or parent deal with it on his or her own, or raise the percentage of payment to unsecured creditors so that your creditors are not financing this sort of optional vehicle payment. And that's the way we deal with it in Chapter 13. So yes, you can include it, but it's going to raise a red flag, and that's how we deal with those red flags and what sort of the parameters of what trustees are going to look for if you have an extra vehicle in your Chapter 13 bankruptcy. Hope you found this helpful. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Is this fair? Is it unfair? Should the courts be more sympathetic to people trying to help out friends and neighbors financing vehicles? What if nobody objects? If no creditor objects, should the trustee simply withdraw objections? What do you think? If you'd like this video, please give it a thumbs up on YouTube, like it on Facebook, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, and visit me on the web. I'm at www.atlanta-bankruptcy-attorney.com, or at my main firm website, glowlaw, glolaw.com, and you can see the bankruptcy section there. If I can be of assistance to you, please reach out to me, 770-393-4985 or ginsberg@gmail.com. Thanks a lot. Hi, this is Jonathan, and I hope you found this video helpful. I'd like to invite you to download my free Debt Destroyer Survival Kit right now. I've packed my survival kit with answers to the questions I've heard from clients for over 25 years here in the Atlanta area. Inside the survival kit, you'll find clear, easy to understand answers to critical topics about how to solve debt problems once and for all, including how do I protect my stuff, my house, car, and personal property if I file for bankruptcy? Are there any legitimate alternatives to bankruptcy? Will I ever get credit again, and if so, when? What mistakes must I avoid to get the most benefit out of bankruptcy? You can claim your copy right now by visiting my atlanta-bankruptcy.com website. And you are always welcome to use the email form on my website to ask me anything about debt and personal bankruptcy in Atlanta. www.atlanta-bankruptcy.com. And as always, I wish you the best.